Hello friends, today on the nursery tour we're going to cover some gorgeous plants that you can get right now here at Creekside Nursery in Dallas, North Carolina. Remember, we are a grower retailer, so we both grow the plants and then we sell them to the public. Really fun. So these nursery tours are meant to be kind of like real time, so you can see what is happening and available at Creekside Nursery right now. So when you come visit us this week, these are the things that you are going to find. We cannot cover everything, and this is not meant to be in-depth on specific plants. So if you have a question about a plant and you want to know more, Professor Google will be happy to help you out. I will try to show you tags and give you all the information I have, but this is a great overview of what is available here at the nursery right now. The fun thing that happened this week is that we got our first shipment of the beautiful heart-to-heart caladiums from Proven Winners. This year we decided to forego sprouting the caladiums ourselves, and our friends at Classic Caladiums, who are the growers and the breeders of these gorgeous caladiums, we ordered them as finished material. So they came ready to go. These are basically like a quart-size container, so these are a nice size. Clearly they have already sprouted. You can see exactly what they look like. Beautiful foliage on them, but if you have not used caladiums, I would strongly encourage you to try at least one this year. There are a few things that you may need to kind of keep in mind with caladiums. Now, traditionally, we would always think about them as either like shades, right? So caladiums would always go in the shade. But you will notice on the tag right here at the bottom, this is the Tickle Me Pink, and it says sun to shade. That means that Tickle Me Pink can go both in the full sun and in the shade. Now you're gonna get a little bit of color variation on the plant if you put it in full sun versus the shade. Caladiums love the heat and humidity of the South. That is why they do wonderful down here. They do not like wet feet. So some people will say, well, I've tried them and I just don't know, they're not going well for me. I just haven't had success. One, it could be genetics of the plant, right? Because not all plants are created equal. These plants grown in Florida, are just big, huge open fields in Florida. So they can handle heat and humidity like champs. Hate wet feet. So they like moisture, but they don't like to sit in water. It is not a bog plant because it does have the caladiums come from corns and they could rot. So don't let them sit in water. I personally have used them in the landscape containers, make a stunning hanging basket, window boxes, and I have done them in full sun and I have done them in full shade. They really are so nice. They bring beautiful color to your garden, not necessarily flowers. We don't have to have all flowers in our garden, but we do want to have beautiful color. This one is a really fun one. This is Snowdrift. Now notice on Snowdrift, what does it say? It says shade. That means you need to put this one in the shade. Can it get some morning sun? Sure it can. Remember, shade means 4 hours or less. So I would say if it says shade, it can get morning sun, maybe a little bit of dappled afternoon sun, but not that really intense hot sun. Really, you get your bang for your buck. They just grow nice and big. Like I said, they thrive in the heat and the humidity of the summer here in the South. We also have, of course, all the great succulents. We have the living canvases that are, some of these are going to be like tender for us. So if you leave them out in the wintertime, then they're not going to make it. However, you can put them outside now all the way through when we get a hard freeze. And then in the wintertime, bring them inside, put them in the sunniest spot of your house, and they make great little house plants. So those are the tender ones. However, the chick charms, sempervivums, these are cold hardy. They are cold hardy to zone 3. So we are a 7B, so if it can handle a zone 3 winter, it can handle a zone 7B winter, no problem. I overwintered mine outside this winter in my succulent planter from Michael Carr, and they did great. These are gorgeous. You could buy this and keep it just like this and put it, if you wanted to put it in a decorative container, you could give it as a gift. What I did last year is I bought this and then I kind of deconstructed it and then planted it in my planter. So we have all of these available, right? Because depending on who you are, whatever your needs are, maybe you want a round bowl, right? That works really well too. Nice, beautiful collection of them. And if you're like me this year, where you already have some sempervivums, maybe you just want to get, you know, a little container like the trio that has 3, or maybe you want to go ahead and just buy the single ones. So we have singles, we have trios, we have whole collections. We have everything available as far as that goes with these sempervivums. I love this one. This is Mint Marvel. And y'all, there are a ton of plants in this container. Ton of them. Beautiful. Love the sun. They are succulents, so they don't like a ton of water. But they do need water. Obviously plants need water, but they don't like to be saturated. So we have all of those. Now, color. Let's talk about annual color. Of course, here we are in the greenhouse. They have a lot of annual color both in the greenhouse and outside. The vast majority, I think, of everything in here is going to be annuals, and then our perennials, of course, are outside. If you are looking for a very versatile plant that is a high performer and low maintenance, you cannot go wrong with the begonias. There are 2 different series that Proven Winners has here that we're showcasing. It is the double ups, and the double ups are going to be nice little petite double flowers, but the plant is going to be completely covered in blooms. So you've got a white that has a really pretty dark, almost like a black foliage. So that's the double up white. Then you have the double up red, still that nice dark foliage of red, and then double up pink, nice soft pink with a green. Nice mounding habit, wonderful in containers or the landscape. Also, the surefire begonias. Surefires they are surefire plants. Let me tell you, again, sun or shade. I have done both, complete sun, complete shade, anything in between. Nice and tall. They have a more upright, larger habit than your double ups. Bigger flowers on them, bigger leaves. Everything's a little bit bigger with the surefires, but they just make a gorgeous statement. Again, all of these are annuals, and then the brand new one this year is the cherry cordial. Nice dark foliage with a red flower, and we do have the surefire whites as well. That is new this year. They're just a little slower on their blooms this year. Sun patience. We've got gorgeous sun patience. Yes, they really can take the full sun. I have had them in full sun. I do a lot of the compact white around the patio just because of my color schemes, but the red is beautiful. And then this one is really popular. This is the compact tropical rose because it has that beautiful variegated foliage on it. And then it has a hot pink bloom. Gorgeous plant. Now, this one is also a fantastic plant. This is Mystic Illusion, and it is actually a dahlia, 18 to 36 inches tall. But what makes Mystic Illusion so much fun is that it has really dark foliage and a bright sunshine, lemony yellow flower on it. It is a gorgeous plant. We have seen it in landscapes. We like to go to Blowing Rock, which is a mountain town, hour and a half away from us, and they use a lot of Proven Winners. The town does in their displays. They always have Mystic Illusion in the landscape, and it is gorgeous. It is stunning. Lantanas, please do not forget your lantanas. Lantanas are wonderful for the full sun. Amazing for your attracting your pollinators, your bumblebees, your hummingbirds, your butterflies. This is what you want to plant now to give you massive color, not only through the whole growing season, but especially at the end of the summer when your garden is looking tired and sad. These things are going to be massive and gorgeous and full of color. Love lantana. We are going to be planting a ton of lantana this year, so don't forget about lantana. As portulaca. Portulaca is another kind of a sedum-esque type plant. Portulaca is nice and low, loves the sun, loves it dry. So if you have an area that gets neglected, you can't get water to it, full sun, tends to be dry, portulaca would be a great option for you. I believe we're going to plant a lot of this up at our mailbox because especially like with the yellow, this was the improved last year, massive, huge flowers, pollinators love it. So portulaca is great in containers and the landscape. One of our popular most popular flowers for the shade for lots of color are the double impatiens. So the double impatiens, this is the Rocapuco series, and our customers have been flying through these. This is our first crop of Rocapucos, and then we have another crop coming up behind it. But if Jerry can come in here and show you how gorgeous these flowers are. So this one right here is the Rocapuco Rose. Rose does look like a tiny miniature rose. Has a little bit of white undertones to it with that really nice rich pink. These are definitely shade plants. You can have some morning sun, but no afternoon sun. Then you have apple blossom. Apple blossom is the first one that we ever did. And people would think that they were like miniature roses. They are not. They are just gorgeous impatiens. Wisteria is another really popular one because, I mean, hello, look at that purple and white together. It's just stunning. So morning sun, not afternoon sun, not where we live. If you're in a much cooler climate, then perhaps, but not here. And then white, the classic double white of that Rocapuco is stunning. So just because you have shade, don't think you cannot have color. You absolutely can. I just had a viewer on Facebook ask if we have the dragon wing or angel wing begonias. We do. So we have the dragon wing, some people call them dragon wing, angel wing. It's essentially the same plant. It is a shade begonia. We have them both in the red and the rose. These things will get huge. They have more of kind of a weeping habit to them. Perfect for the shade, whether you're going to do a hanging basket, put them directly in the ground, or if you want to put them in a container, gorgeous. More shade plants would be like Broalia. My favorite is, there's white and then there's blue. This is Endless Illumination. Nice, massive, star-shaped, really rich, kind of an indigo blue flower. Again, shade. Morning sun can handle it, not a problem. Put it in the shade though in the afternoon. Landscape containers, like very, very versatile. I think sometimes shade gardens get a little neglected, and so I want to make sure that my shade people know that we have color options for you. When you come to the nursery, we talked about the sun patience on the tag from Proven Winners. Notice right here, it says Infinity. The Infinity series from Proven Winners means that these are going to be your shade impatiens. On the tag, this is one reason as a retailer why we adore having Proven Winner plants, because they have amazing tags. Right here on the tag, it says Park Shade to Shade. So this is light purple, and then this is blushing crimson. But look at those beautiful colors for your shade garden. Again, impatiens are wonderful for the landscape, for containers. They'll get some height to them, about 10 to 14 inches tall. So nice. I mean, that light purple bloom is huge. I mean, it is massive. So gorgeous color options for my shade people. And then of course your Coleuses, all the color blazes can do sun or shade. So that is really fun on that. You saw me do pentas this week. We put pentas, the last video we did. I did the Sunstar Rose Penta in the landscape. Another thing I want to address while we're here talking about pentas is we've had some comments here and there about how we plant a ton of plants, right? And so for a lot of people that's not financially possible. And we fully recognize that. I get that. I also want you to remember that I am a business. I am a grower, and then our gardens with all of our videos, that is a business. So we plant in big numbers, right? Because we do this as a business. You can plant one penta in a container and it will make a massive impact. It is my job as the grower, the retailer, the video maker, right, is to give you options for the most bang for your buck. So if you can only buy like one plant and you love this penta, buy that one plant and enjoy it. Do not compare gardens. Different situations require different circumstances and everything. So remember, comparison is the thief of joy. Live in your moment, live in your garden, but be inspired and look at other people for knowledge and inspiration. So just know that we certainly don't think that everybody is going to be gardening like we do. whatsoever. We have had our kids ask us, you know, if we didn't have the nursery and we didn't have the, you know, the videos that we do, would we have the gardens that we have? And I'm like, probably not, because this is our business. This is my job, is to grow plants, to plant plants, and to teach you about plants. So just keep that in mind when we're doing projects, all right? That's just a little personal moment for Jenny right there. And then this is, you want to talk about a bang for your buck? Augusta lavender. Now, it is not a lavender. It is a, and I'm probably going to just butcher how you say it, heliotropium. Anyway, it is a gorgeous plant. It has returned for us for multiple years. So there are several plants that we have that we sell as annuals that come back as perennials. Again, giving you the most bang for your buck. Gorgeous, big open habit on it. Coffee cups. Another bang for your buck. If you're looking for some nice interest height in your garden, maybe you do have a wet area. The coffee cups, this is a calicasia, will be a wonderful thing for you. Where we are, it is a perennial. Jerry, can you show this right quick? Because if I move it, it'll mess it up. But coffee cups, see right here where we watered, and it will hold the water. So these leaves will get huge, massive, and they have that upturned look like right here. And so they fill with water. And then when it gets full, the plant, the leaf will tip, and then it just rolls right off. We've had customers talk about where they're sitting there looking at their coffee cups and the hummingbirds are coming and drinking water out of the coffee cups. How fun is that? All right. Salvias, the Rockin' series of salvias, the unplugged pink, huge pollinator attractors, hummingbird magnet, just massive. They come in all different colors. So the unplugged pink is relatively, it's the newest one as far as like to the family. It's going to be a lot shorter. It's not going to be as big, 14 to 30 inches tall, where your Rockins can get easily 3 feet tall. So there's purple, there's blue suede shoes, you name it, you got it. If you want a basil, I tell people you only need to buy one of these plants. This is a mazel basil. A mazel basil, if you put it in the ground, it will get probably 3 feet tall by the end of the season. Honey, you're gonna have more basil than you know what to do with. You can only make so much pesto, right? I know you can freeze it and do all this stuff. Massive. So when people come in there and are like, yeah, I need some basil, and they're getting like 3 or 4, and I'm like, nah, I'd love to sell you 3 or 4, but you really personally probably don't need that many plants, but it is a gorgeous plant and it smells. It's the Genovese type of basil. So don't tell anybody, but the other day we were going to do some grilled chicken and I wanted to make some pesto for the chicken. I don't have any basil yet in my garden, so I came over here and plucked a few little leaves off like random plants, went home and made basil. It was delicious. So it is very much edible. It is delicious for sure. Let's go over here and let's talk about, what shall we talk about, Jerry? You want to do petunias? Petunias and baskets galore. All right, so petunias, calibrachoas, superbells. So proven winners, calibrachoas, they call them superbells. Their petunias, they call supertunias. Just to give you a little heads up, you can grow them, you treat them the same. They are full sun to part sun, a minimum of 5 hours. They are heavy feeders. They love to have food in order to produce all of these gorgeous flowers. The only difference between the two as far as growing them is that unless you have extremely well-draining soil, you don't need to put your calibrachoas, your superbells in the ground. They do great in containers. This is a mini vista. This is mini vista probably hot pink. Makes a gorgeous hanging basket. There are 3 plants in here, so that gives you an idea. So we have our hanging baskets in different options. This is what we call a mono basket, meaning it is the same plant in multiples in one basket. Makes a huge impact. You can absolutely leave this in a hanging basket and enjoy it. One of my favorite tricks is to take a hanging basket, take it out, take the plant out of the hanging basket and plant it in a container or the landscape. One of our most popular videos that we've ever done is like 3 ways to use a hanging basket. I will link it. Go check that out and I show you exactly how to take a hanging basket and use it in 3 different ways in your landscape it makes a huge impact right away to put it in a container or the landscape. So there you go on that. Really popular. So just loads of color, right? We use the calibrachoas and the petunias for their massive flowers. They trail over. They do just gorgeous. It's like name your color, and basically we have it, whether it's a rich purple, kind of a raspberry, or the white or the yellow. You want something with some stripes to it, then there you go. You want a more petite petunia that has a double flower, well then Supertunia Sharon would be a great option for you. The vistas, the Supertunia vistas, are known for their really vigorous habit, but sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want a petunia nice and controlled. Sharon is a great example of that. Beautiful double bicolor bloom, but it's definitely much more contained and not as vigorous as the Vista series. Another time about bang for your buck, another huge bang for your buck is going to be the sun-credible sunflowers. Whether you do Saturn, which is a bicolor, or you do just the yellow, which is a single yellow, put this in a landscape. The landscape it does best because most people don't have a big enough container for this. It will get 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. The more you cut it, the more flowers it produces. So what we need to do as a nursery, right here, so these where they have just a little bit of the petals coming open, these are going to be future buds. Here, this is an old bud. We need to come in here and snip those off. This is an old bud. Now, do you have to deadhead these plants? Absolutely not. But when you cut them, especially early on in the season, you cut them, they become much stockier, thicker plants and not so straight up. And they bloom on new growth. So when you cut them, you're encouraging more growth and they just will explode in color. Huge impact, especially from a distance. They do really well. And then of course the perennials, we have got Baptisia galore. The ever popular Vermillionaire. Vermillionaire is going to be what I say is the #1 hummingbird plant. This is the plant. This is what it does. This is its habit. It's very open and airy. These will all become limbs this way. And then right here, you've got those beautiful bright orange tubular flowers that the hummingbirds just find absolutely like irresistible. They go after them all the time and they will get in there. Also a great pollinator attractor. Your hummingbirds, your bumblebees love this plant. So whether you are close to Creekside or you're going to be traveling and you want to come see us, we would love to have you here Wednesdays through Saturdays. Basically, if it's a Wednesday through a Saturday, we're open all the way through like probably late November, early into December. So if it's a Wednesday through Saturday, we're open 9 to 3. So we would love to have you come visit us. We would love to help you. If you're not local to Creekside or you're not going to be able to come to Creekside, go visit your local garden center. I know that they have the same heart that we do here, is that we want to serve you, we want to help you. So if you go and you say, this is my situation, they're going to be able to help you find the perfect plant for your location, for your situation, so that you have a beautiful garden that you can enjoy that season. As always, we so appreciate you. Thank you so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.